Oh baby, it's been a while. We are kind of back. Been doing some stuff, been doing some things. Today, working on this here. Let me do that. Bam, right there. Sorry if the audio is kind of bad. If you can see over there. Raw, fucking America. It's a little windy out today. It's a little fucking wind blown. The dust is fucking kicking up. But we're gonna fucking try it. So, working on this thing. What is this thing? This is a Glycol skid. So, it goes to that rack over there. Basically, it's like a retrofit skid where we're gonna be fucking piping it to the rack via these lines right here. Right? That's gonna go through a heat exchanger inside here, chill our Glycol, which is gonna come out, go down into the store, and we're gonna be swapping out normal cases for Glycol cases. So, this is the beginning stages of it, right? We're just getting done with this piping. We just got it all, like the Glycol side, this side, we got all that completed last night. And this is a pump right here. So what this does is this is a fucking pump, right? It's a water pump. And basically what you do is you fill that Glycol loop up with water, you put in a chemical, and you flush the system. So that's what I've been doing. It's been on this flush for about 10 hours. Got a dang high wind alert on my phone right now. Like, no kidding, I'm here, I feel it. But this is how much water I put into this. 262 gallons. So this is my fill line right here, just a standard hose that I got run to a spigot way over there because I couldn't, well, the only one I could find, and the only other one was like 500 foot that way. I wasn't doing that. So, but this is just a pump. This is just a water pump, you know. We have our makeup line here. Water goes in, fills up this little tube, and then comes down, goes through our pump, into the circuit, cycles through the circuit, or circulates, and then comes back out, boop, and drops into there. And then in here, we have this little screen that's trying to filter out all the crap that's in there. We'll pull that here in a minute and see what's in there. But yeah, this thing's been running for about 10 hours with this chemical running through it. And I got to take that chemical off and then refill it with clean water and circulate it for another 72 hours. So let me get this thing turned off. I'm gonna pull this screen and we'll see how it looks. All right, so here we have that little screen. Let's see if I can get this out with one hand. And I mean, not terrible. Let's see if I can get this thing to stop fucking blowing. I mean, there's definitely some carbon in there, but considering we got a shit ton of that big 4-inch and 3-inch downstairs, I'd say that's not bad at all. So good job fucking guys who piped it, you know. That shit's looking clean, man. But all right, so we've got this thing back running. I've got what should be just clean water. You can see the level of this tank through this little clear hose right here. But you can see it's pumping, it's circulating. I put in 300 gallons this time. I got my makeup line off. I still have this on from over there just in case I need more, because I want to watch this level. I like to see that level sit about right there. I put that little black band there and I can tell if it goes up or down. The other thing I've been doing, it's kind of fucking been a pain in the ass by myself, but whew, man, it's fucking windy. Hopefully this shit comes through okay. You can see, look. Oh, glories are blowing. But I got these little manual vents up here. So I just been cracking them. You see I got fucking water. So we should be good. I gotta let this run on clean water for the next 72 hours. So basically I'm just gonna stay here for probably, I don't know, another couple hours and just monitor that water level, make sure it doesn't get like too low or anything. Man, fucking blowing my damn ladder and shit. monitor that water level, make sure this thing doesn't drop, make sure I don't like fucking, make sure I got enough water in the system to where it runs and it doesn't fuck that pump up. But then, I mean, I just leave this thing on for 72 hours basically, and then we got to do another flush on it. So, son of a bitch. Hey, it's windy out here, buddy. But yeah, so we'll get back to it. All right, so day 2 for me over here at this skid. I got my pump still going. Looks like my water level has dropped quite a bit. I just saw it in that tube. It was up here when I left it. That's what this little black ring, you can move it up and down. I still have water in there. You can see it kind of, well, I guess kind of hard, I don't know. You can see it splashing around in there. The screen looks pretty good. Doesn't look like I've picked up any new stuff. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna top off that water real quick. I got my water way down over here. That's another one we're gonna be doing here next week, I think. And then this store actually has these. So this is like the same thing right here, except CO2 for their low temp. That one and that one, those are already operational. So, but yeah, this is where I got my makeup water coming off of right here. Thankfully they have a spigot just coming right off the rack. Fucking open that up. All right, and then come back over here. I'm just gonna hit, you can see my hose right here coming in. This is my makeup line. When I turn it on, this thing automatically comes on. I'm just gonna fill it back up, probably just halfway to here. Then you can see that water level's coming up in that tube. So once it gets back up there, I'll turn it off. All right, so I'm good with that right about there. So I'll turn my makeup off. Slide that little ring down to there. And boom, that way I know how much water I have. And I just got to turn this off. All right, so this thing's good. Water level came up a little bit. So what I need to start doing now, so this thing's still not running, right? We're still, so basically you can see that tank, there's a pump on it, right? 120 volt pump. It's coming in one line, going in, going down through the lines, going down through all the line set, and then coming back out and coming out the other line, going in, right? So it's just, that's just a circulating pump. So we're circulating some solvents and some water and stuff like that just to clean out all the lines, because this is going to be a glycol system. So we got to make sure everything's clean. There's nothing like corrosive or anything. So this is the inside. It's a little windy today, so I got to put this. So what I need to start doing is, before power's off to this, right? You can see power's off. There is power here. I just don't have it turned on yet. So what I need to start doing before I turn anything on is I like to go through every single connection, every lug, right? Pull on every wire, make sure that everything's tight, right? And then I'll start going through the schematic. So all of these have spots, right? All these schematics, I'm gonna start going through and making sure that all of these wires are landed exactly where they're supposed to be. It's a little bit tedious, but it's better to just get it out of the way, tighten everything down, make sure everything's landed where it should be, and then that way I shouldn't have any issues when I go to turn this thing on. But you can see this skid, this little panel, I got my power. I've got 2 pumps inside the skid right here. So these are my circulating pumps, right? And I guess I can open this side. So this is my vessel or my expansion tank. This all set. We see I got my pumps, my butterfly valves, and then this top section has my heat exchanger back here. And on this side, my main air separator, heat exchanger, and you can see what happens is our refrigerant lines come right here. Let me go on this side, it's a little bit easier to see. What happens is those refrigerant lines come in, right? So there's my liquid, goes through an inline heat exchanger. Liquid comes in. Come on, baby. This wind's kicking me right now. Right? We go through our solenoid, through our EEV, into our heat exchanger. Right? And then suction comes out at the top, comes back into our inline heat exchanger, back to the rack, right? Which for this is going in, under, and then it's gonna pop up into the rack. And then you can see my glycol lines. I got my inlet up there, my outlet right here. It's just transferring heat, right? And it's those circulating pumps right here, they're just circulating it throughout the store. So it's pretty simple. It's you know, it's not a new technology by any means. I've seen this kind of system done a lot. It is new how they're doing it. Like with the skid, it's like a retrofit skid almost, right? So it's like an existing DX rack, but they want to get some of the refrigerant off that rack. So they're gonna go ahead and put in this glycol skid and take some of the refrigerant load off the rack and put it on the glycol skid, right? But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna start doing right now. I'm gonna go through all this stuff and just start tightening everything and making sure everything is wired right. Like I said, it is kind of tedious, it's monotonous, but it's you know, it's what's got to be done. So let me do that and then we'll get back to you. Okay, so we got all this stuff tightened up, went through the schematics, made sure everything was landed correct. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and throw power on this. And if you'll notice right here, I have these breakers off, right? These breakers go to my drives. My drives control my pumps. Both those pumps are off these drives. So there's like pump 1, pump 2. I don't want those pumps running, which they shouldn't, because there's the parameters aren't really met for them to run, or they shouldn't be. I'm gonna have to blur that out, shit. But I don't want the chance that these pumps try to run and then we fuck those pumps up. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start checking my power. All right, there we go. Start checking my power, make sure I've got 460 coming in. Let's see. Put that right there. So let's check the top of this. Which I do. That's 2 to 3. And then 1 to 3. Okay. And then I'll check all of those to ground. Make sure I've got a balanced load on this thing. 280, 278, 280. Okay. Okay, pro tip for today. Transformers are very important, right? To check to make sure that they're tapped correctly, especially on racks when you're using transformers to step down your control voltage, stuff like that. You need to make sure that you are tapped correctly. And what I mean is, if you look on this transformer right here, right, we've got our common, which that'll stay the same, but then we have 120, 208, 240. Now, a lot of the times 208, 240 is used kind of interchangeably, right? But depending on where you were to tap that, it will affect your voltage on your secondary side, right? So like this, we got 120 and 240 coming in, which granted, I think if you were to land this, because this is landed 240, I think if you were to land at 120, you might fuck up this transformer. But especially on ones like this, right? If you're getting 208 power, but you have it tapped on 240, you're gonna affect your secondary side, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do right now, is just make sure that my voltages are correct coming here. So this is showing 240, which it's not, right? I got 125. 240 is showing 1 and 4. But when I check right here, I'm getting 120. Oh, 120's got the jumpers. Oh, I got jumpers on there. Never mind, as I was. Check that, I should have 120. Okay, we're good. And then my output should be 24, 26, okay. And then I want to check this, so I'm just gonna wiggle these off just a little bit, just so I can get my leads on there. Let me switch hands real quick so I can get this from the back side. Okay, so I'm checking that. I got 127 coming in. Let me make sure those are snug back on there. Then I'll do the same for this side. Just wiggle it off a little bit. And then check my secondary side. And am I not fucking on this right? There we go. So I'm getting 30 volts on there. Okay. Okay, so yeah, like I said, just big thing, check your transformers. Okay, so up here you can see we have this Corel controller, and then these right here, these are my valve drivers. These are by Corel. I've actually never messed with these valve drivers before. I've messed with the Emerson ones, are the ones that I'm typically used to seeing, or the Danfoss ones. I forget what those are called. But these Corel ones, I'm probably gonna have to do some reading on. But basically, they tell you your superheat. This is the main screen, superheat, valve opening, and then I've already kind of scrolled through this. It shows you your wiring. This is kind of cool. It shows you the wiring for the valve. So green, brown, yellow, white, 1, 3, 2, 4. And if you look up here, green, brown, yellow, white, 1, 3, 2, 4. So that's cool. And then also shows you your sensor and your transducer, which are going to be down here, right? So if you look, sensor is S2 and ground. We have S2 for sensor, and then white, black, green. We got white, black, and then our ground's gonna all be common somewhere else. But this basically just gives you, it tells you everything in regards to the valve, and it actually controls the valve. So it gets signal basically from the controller to the valve driver. The valve driver drives the valve open or closed. For what superheat you want to maintain, and the way that you kind of check that is in this controller. So I can scroll through. Right now I'm showing my supply temps 53, return temps 54. I mean, this doesn't really tell me anything right now because my skid is not working. So all of my sensors, transducers, and everything are all in this, right? And since this isn't running, this isn't telling me. Right now I'm just going through making sure the programming's there. But yeah, this is my controller, Corel controller. I've used them a decent amount now. I like them. They seem pretty good. Their tech support's good. So actually I need to make a phone call to the manufacturer. He wanted me to call once we get power to this, so that way we could do like kind of a commissioning thing. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll get back with y'all. Okay, so I talked to the manufacturer. He had me go through some stuff, set up some stuff on this controller. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, I think I'm done with this for now, this video anyways. I still have some stuff to do, but really I'm not charging this or even starting this skid up until next week. We got to do that flush. We still have to do another flush after that, and then what is it, next week I come back and I'm actually going to be charging this with glycol and starting this thing up. So I think that's going to be the end of this video. When I do come back next week, I'll see if I can do a continuation. But I'll post this one and then just do a part 2 or some shit. So no, it's been a while. It's been fucking super busy. Been trying to learn, a lot. Been learning a lot, kind of what I can, what I can't do. I'll get the videos out when I can. Hopefully y'all enjoy them. As always, like, subscribe, share, do the deal, what everybody tells you to do. And yeah, appreciate it. Later.